welcome back to my channel, Primal as a Mother. In this video, we're going to be talking about the excitement and the realness of the first half of my first trimester. I am going to be doing a video of the second half of first trimester as well. Don't forget to like and subscribe so that you can follow along on this journey with me. And if you have any comments, drop them below. If you are also pregnant and you know your due date, drop that in the comments below so that we can send positive vibes to each other, but also follow along on each other's journeys. I am 8 weeks today actually, and that's super exciting to be halfway through. I'm excited to get through the first trimester and just not be as tired anymore. But in this video, I'm just gonna cover symptoms week by week. So I wanted to talk a little bit about finding out that I was pregnant. I found out super early before I missed period. So I was like 3 weeks pregnant. I had a dream that I was pregnant. It was very vivid. And I had 2 dreams that I was pregnant, and my husband had a dream that I had a baby. And my dreams, they just seemed so realistic, and I was like, I'm gonna take a test. My period was like a week out, and I wasn't having any regular like period cramping like I normally do leading up to my period. I did have like bouts of nausea, but I wasn't sure if it was because my period was a week away or if it was because I was pregnant. And I knew that it was definitely possible for me to be pregnant. So I ordered a big bag of pregnancy tests off Amazon. It was like $5 and it had like a million tests in it. No, I think like 20. But I took a test and the line was very faint. Like so very, very faint, like non-existent. And I knew I saw something. My camera froze. I took it outside and I was like holding it up to the sun. I was trying to see, is it there? Is this wishful thinking? But I could definitely see a line. Probably if I were to show it to anyone else, they'd probably be like, there's nothing there. So I took one the next day, and there was also a very, 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 very faint line. And I just kept taking them. I think I took like 12 total. And I think after the second one, I told my husband, like, I see a line, but it's faint, so we could be having a baby. And then I think halfway through those, like, I was definitely like, we're having a baby. And so we told our kids, which is also a fun story, and I'll do that on another video. And then by the end of 12, like, the tests were coming up instantly. They were darker. It was very obviously pregnant positive. Also, I want to mention something interesting. So my hair has been blonde, I don't know, a long time. It's been blonde, and I was bleaching and toning and doing all that process at home myself. And normally whenever my hair grows super fast, so normally whenever I would bleach the roots, it would come out as like yellow, gold, orange. The last couple times I bleached and toned it, it was coming out legit red, like red. And I was like, what is happening? The first time it happened, I was shocked. I screamed, and I was like, I ruined my hair. And it was red, and it was so hard to correct. And my daughter was also mentioning that my freckles were looking more orange instead of brown like they normally are. And so I was like, that's weird, like maybe my pigment is changing. Well, fast forward to getting positive pregnancy tests, that all makes sense now, because your hormones during pregnancy can definitely change the pigments and also change like how your hair results are going to come out. So that makes sense now why it was suddenly turning red every time. And then since then I went back to dark because I don't feel comfortable bleaching and toning my hair with a bunch of chemicals while I'm pregnant. So that's just a fun story. I wanted to touch on symptoms week by week. Finding out that you're pregnant at week 3 is super early. and I feel like the weeks have been kind of dragging by just because I found out so early. I know there's people out there that find out halfway through their first trimester that they're pregnant. They don't have very much to go, and it feels like these weeks are going by slowly, but I'm super grateful to be pregnant again and for everything to be going great. So starting week 3 and 4, mainly I was just really tired. I also had like constipation. I wouldn't really call it constipation because it wasn't like I couldn't go to the bathroom or if it was hard to go to the bathroom. I just wasn't having the urge to go to the bathroom, which I've looked that up, and apparently it's very normal because the hormones from pregnancy in your body slow everything down with your digestion, and so it just takes longer for everything to go through. Other than that, I continued having vivid pregnancy dreams. And I think that's about it for week 3. Starting in week 4, I started kind of having the same symptoms, from week previous, but also I wasn't wanting any sugar. Usually I'll have like a soda on the weekend, just one soda, and then like some sugary snacks sometimes, and I didn't want anything like that. I wasn't craving soda either, so that was noteworthy. I was more so craving like savory foods, real foods, rice, vegetables, meats, things like that. So allergies, that's something that I was experiencing as well. I have celiac disease and I eat gluten-free. I used to be allergic to everything and get sick all the time due to my allergies. My allergy report says that I'm allergic to like everything in my state, all the trees, all the grasses, and I was just miserable with allergies all the time. Once I got diagnosed, I started eating gluten-free, and I no longer suffered from allergies, like seasonal allergies. I can go outside and mow the grass and not be affected by it at all. I don't have like sniffles or sneezes. But ever since being pregnant, like starting week 4, I was experiencing allergies. Sneezing all day, runny nose, stuffy nose, and it's just kind of funny because that's not something that I deal with, and I deal with it now, so it's interesting. I also looked it up just for fun, and it says that when you're carrying a girl, it usually weakens your immune system and you can suffer from allergies or colds and things like that a lot easier, so maybe that's a hint that this is a girl. Other than that, I think that's about it for week 3 and 4. Week 5 was more, my breasts started getting sore, tender, nipples tender, but pretty much all the symptoms from the previous week. Maybe with some aversions to certain meats or certain smelling foods. I usually love eating curry, and I can't stand the smell of it now. Hopefully that passes so I can go back to eating that again. So week 6 and 7 is where stuff started getting rough. I want to talk a little bit about previous pregnancies. So my daughter is 13, my son is 8, so it's been a while since I was pregnant. But that being said, both of my pregnancies previously were very easy. No morning sickness, nothing like crazy. With my son, I had like food aversions and had to like basically live off of protein bars until around like week 19. But other than that, nothing notable. This pregnancy, and I don't know if it's because I'm older now or just what, but going into week 6 and 7 became very rough. And I say that lightly because I don't want to complain too much. I know there's women out there that have morning sickness and it's like all day sickness and it's horrible and they're just miserable, and I wouldn't wish that on anyone, and I don't have that. I haven't experienced that, knock on wood, and hopefully I don't. But 6 and 7, when compared to my other pregnancies and it just being a walk in the park, have been rough for me. So I mentioned things have slowed down, and I wouldn't say it's constipation, it's just the lack of urge to go. So entering into week 6, I started having stomach pain. Like, my stomach hurt. The top of my stomach, like under my breast, my chest, my lower back, and then like cramping low. So week 6 is when period type cramping started. And obviously that's from everything expanding and stretching, and totally normal. And definitely with this being my 3rd, my uterus knows exactly what to do. It's already expanding. I'm already getting a bump. And so that's, where that's coming from. Back pain I never have normally. So now all of a sudden I'm having lower back pain. It's like horrible. When I'm working, I have to stand or sit on like a birth ball or exercise ball, whatever you want to call it, because my back hurts so bad. I haven't liked our bed lately because it hurts my back even worse. So I prefer the couch when we can sleep out there. But yeah, so normal stretching, back and period type cramping. But then towards the end of week 6 into week 7 is when like the stomach pain like up high started. My chest started hurting, just from gas. So I eat healthy. I don't drink caffeine. I'm like eating things like sandwiches, rice, meat, vegetables, salmon, tuna, hummus, cottage cheese, different types of cheese, almonds, pistachios, like healthy things. And I'm hungry. I want to eat. But then I eat, and all of a sudden I feel awful. I feel awful after I eat. My stomach hurts. I get gas pain, and it doesn't go away. So it's there all day, all night, all the next day until I use the restroom. And sometimes that doesn't happen until like 12 in the afternoon. So I'm miserable the whole time. Using the restroom isn't hard. It doesn't hurt. So like I said, it's not really constipation. It's just that everything's slowed down and sensitive, it feels like. Like before, I could eat, before I was pregnant, I could eat and it wouldn't make a difference. But now I definitely have to be careful, like how much I'm eating, if I'm eating too fast, what I'm eating. So with all this pain, I've like thought, and my husband mentioned as well, maybe it's the dairy. Maybe it's just, I don't normally eat a whole lot of dairy, but some meats have grossed me out the last couple weeks. So I'm trying to up my protein and increase dairy to do that. And so maybe that's upsetting me. I also thought bread, rice, pasta, even though I haven't been eating pasta, just mainly bread and rice, could be affecting cue those allergies. So I thought maybe if I cut back on the rice and bread and the dairy and see if it helps. We'll see how that goes. So I did do that. I was miserable the last couple days, and I did cut back on those things, and I did feel better. Last night I slept. My stomach didn't hurt too bad. My chest still hurt, but I think it was just sore because it was hurting so bad. And at first I was Googling, like, am I having a heart attack? But it was just gas pain stuck in my chest. And so I think my chest has just been sore from that because I had gas pain for like 2 days. But yeah, just being careful what I'm eating, how much I'm eating, how fast I'm eating, because everything is just different now. I'm just excited to get out of the first trimester, stop being as tired, get my energy back. I've been trying to continue to exercise, but I haven't had a lot of energy, and my stomach's been hurting pretty badly, so I haven't been exercising as much as I normally do. So I'm just kind of excited to get out of the first trimester, get my energy back, start exercising again, not be as tired. But now that we're in week 8 and I kind of have the diet changed up a little bit, hopefully I'll start feeling better as well. I am 4'6.5", so very tiny. The baby doesn't really have anywhere to go but out on me. So for the past 2 pregnancies, my bump got very large, and I'm sure it will be the same for this baby. So I was showing at around 14 weeks with my first, and then around like 8 weeks with my second, and so having a bump here at 8 weeks isn't shocking for me. I do want to talk about weight. So I have lost weight since being pregnant, even though I'm not like getting sick and having morning sickness. I've lost about 6 pounds. No, I've lost more than 6 pounds. I've lost 9 pounds since being pregnant. For me, that's very normal. I did that with the last 2 pregnancies as well. I probably could attribute it to healthier eating choices, like cutting out occasional caffeine, cutting out sugar, and then also just to pregnancy and like hormones and your body changing and the baby getting nutrients and things like that. It just happens with me. But I wanted to bring it up because with my first pregnancy, I gained a total of 15 pounds. With my second pregnancy, I gained a total of 12 pounds. And my second pregnancy, that was actually a much bigger baby. He was like 2 pounds bigger than his sister. So your weight gain doesn't really correlate with your baby's weight. And I'm just mentioning this because I'm losing weight. I'm not concerned, but if you're also in the same boat, you're not getting morning sickness, you're not throwing up, but you're losing weight, don't be concerned. Don't let a health provider make you think that it's not normal or anything. I think most would know that it's okay, but just in case, you're not the only one out there that's experiencing that. And then also, you don't have to gain, like I'm a petite person, I wasn't like overweight during pregnancy, and I didn't gain a lot, as I mentioned, 15 pounds and 12 pounds, and that also was not concerning. So don't let anyone tell you, you need to be gaining 30 pounds or 40 pounds because you're carrying a baby and you're eating for 2. That's also not the case. My bump got huge. It was like my body knew what it was doing, and I was trusting that, and that's kind of where that name comes from, Primal. As a mother, I trust my body and what it's telling me, and you don't have to worry about what the weight scale is telling you all the time. So unless you're like gaining tons and tons of weight and you're like feeling it and it's causing you symptoms and you're unhealthy, or maybe you're losing tons and tons of weight because you have like extreme morning sickness, that would be a concern. But if you're feeling fine and your body's telling you everything's fine, and maybe you're not gaining a whole lot of weight, or maybe you lost a little bit of weight in the first trimester, my point is just don't worry, because that can be completely normal as well. And me being on my 3rd pregnancy and it happening again, like that's just something that I trust my body knows what it's doing and it does it. But yeah, my due date is March 7th. Drop your due date in the comments below. I did have 2 dating scans, so that's where I get that date. The first one we had I thought it was 6 weeks, but I was like 5 weeks and some days. And we saw the baby, it looked like a grain of rice. And then we went back a week later and the baby was much bigger than the first time and looked like a little bean. And so that was exciting. My son was super excited to see how much bigger the baby had gotten. And we didn't get to hear the heartbeat because the baby wouldn't hold still, but we did get to see it flickering on the screen, so that was super cool. And the heart rate at the scan was 126 beats per minute, which I remember my daughter's heartbeat being a lot lower than my son's. I think the wives' tale is the opposite, like lower heartbeat is supposed to be for a boy and a higher one's for a girl. But for me it was opposite. So obviously it was early, 6 weeks dating scan, so the baby's heartbeat's not going to be super fast, but compared to my other pregnancies and dating scans, it was lower So that also points me into believing that it's a girl. So we'll see. Also, drop in the comments below what you're having, if you know. And if you want to take guesses as to what I'm having based on these symptoms, let me know. My first pregnancy, like I said, it was really easy. And I had a girl. Second pregnancy, I did have food aversions to the point of having to really live off of protein bars. And I had a boy. Both were very active during pregnancy. Like once I could start feeling the baby move, both were very, very active, but my son was super aggressive. Like his movements were painful. So interested to see how this baby's movements will pan out. Excited for that time because that's super exciting. But also I have a feeling that this baby is a girl. My daughter feels it's a girl. My husband has had a dream that it's a girl, and then I recently had dreams that it's like I had a girl baby. So I don't know if that's intuition. My son is rooting for a boy. Obviously we'll all be happy regardless of what the baby is. And since I have one of each, I'm like, it's just a tiebreaker. So it's not like I have like 4 girls and I'm hoping for a boy or something. I don't know. But yeah, just comment below what you think the baby is based on my symptoms. I think it's kind of hard to say because my symptoms are kind of different than before. I mean, you could go off of the no morning sickness, which I didn't have with either, but I guess we'll go off like the no extreme food aversions that I had with my son that I'm not having now. So maybe that says it's a girl. I don't know. That kind of wraps up this video. I hope you enjoyed it. As I mentioned, I'm going to be doing a second half of the first trimester as well, covering those symptoms. Since I'm 8 weeks now, I kind of covered how I'm feeling, but I'll touch on that too as we finish the week out in the next video. But don't forget to like and subscribe, comment below, follow along with my journey, and leave me any tidbits about your pregnancy in the comments so I can follow along with yours. I hope to see you next time.